Hey, what's up, guys? It is your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh superhero, Ben 10,000 YGO. I'm bringing you guys a deck profile for the new Fossil archetype. This deck is piloted by the Crocodile Dundee-like character in GX. I can't remember his name for the life of me. He's Australian, and he plays a Fossil deck in the TV show. So. I'm going to be showcasing you guys that deck today. Before we get any further, guys, make sure you go check out my video with Invoked 101. I did a video with him recently, and we had a discussion on my new series Behind the Screen. So if you're interested in knowing a little more about your favorite Yu-Gi tubers, or if there's a Yu-Gi tuber you think I should definitely try to get an interview with, make sure you put that in the comments below, so on that video, as well as maybe this one. So anyway, without further ado, if you're new to the Ben 10,000 YGO channel, this is how we do things on my channel. We have this little discussion in the front when we're doing a deck profile, and then we'll have some replay footage so you can kind of see the deck in action. And at the end of that, we will come into the end of the video and we'll talk about the deck and some card choices and all that kind of stuff. So, without further ado, guys, let's go check out that replay footage. All right, there you have it, guys. This is the Fossil deck. So, for you guys who are unfamiliar with the Fossils, this is kind of a new line of cards that are coming out, and like I said, they're based off of a character whose name I can't remember. He's from the GX era. He's Australian, you know, he's like, I don't know, he had a crocodile on his back, that's what I remember. So that's what this archetype comes from, and I know you're seeing a lot of like highly competitive cards, but we're online and this deck's not going to be here for a little while, so I figured I could kind of splurge and just play like some of the better cards to support it, because I'm not going to lie, guys, I don't think this archetype is broken. I think it's okay. I think somebody's going to find a way to make it more viable than I can, because for me, I'm just kind of playing with it to kind of get some basic ideas of how it plays and then showcase that to you. So each one of these guys has a really cool, interesting effect, and I'll go over that here in a minute, but basically what you're seeing is you got your Nibiru. This is kind of your searchable hand trap to kind of say, oh, screw you to combo decks. Warning though, if you choose to play this online, if you play 3 tactical talents, the new card that's like 3 van cards in one, be prepared for people to rage quit against you. Some people are just, you know what I mean, they acknowledge that all the cards that this effect has The effects on this card are all broken and powerful, and a lot of people are not okay with it, so I don't fault them for leaving, for not wanting to play against it. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean, I'm not gonna be mad at those people, but just be warned, if you choose to play it online, you're probably gonna get a lot of rage quits. So, that being said, we'll continue the rest of the deck. We have our Weathering Soldier. This is the guy, if he gets sent to the graveyard by a card effect, he searches you your Fossil Fusion. That's the big thing. He's a 2000 beat stick, but at the end phase of the turn, he will lose 600 of his attack points, so he'll be a beater, and then he won't be a beater. So, be warned. The more important thing about this monster is you want to put it in the graveyard. So we're also playing Foolish Burial, we're playing like Doki Doki, so we can you know, get to it faster. Maybe our opponent will destroy it, or if we happen to draw our one of Lithogasm here, we can snipe a little bit from their extra deck because most of our monsters are Earth. And at the same time, the Weathering Soldier will prop off and go search us our Fossil Fusion. We are playing the Lightning Storm. Backroad decks are going to be kind of a pain in the butt for this. If you have to, what you can do is you can do like Twin Twister and Dark Hole or Geki and just kind of like, you know, use your sideboard and flip-flop as needed. You also can play more Called by the Grave if necessary. Alright, so let's go over to Fossil Fusion. The cool thing about Fossil Fusion is, basically the way it works is you are banishing monsters from your graveyard and your opponents. This is Miracle Fusion, but only for these guys right here, these specific monsters. All right. And the bonus is, if you use an opponent's monster, because you don't have to, but if you use an opponent's monsters, your fusion monster can't be targeted, and that seems to be a really powerful tool. All right, so then we have Time Stream, which basically is you target one of these guys, and you basically get to tribute them and summon one that's bigger. So it has to be 2 levels higher, so obviously you can't tribute Skull King and get Skull Glios here, but you can tribute Skull Knight and get either one of these 2 guys, because they're both level 8. So it's 4, 6, and 8. So it's all even kilter. There's no anything like that that's very you know, all gonna be off the levels. All right, and then we have kind of the Foolish Burial of the deck, Specimen Inspection. So basically how this works is you want to have a Fossil Fusion, you reveal it, then you pitch a card, and then you declare a type and a level from your opponent's deck. So the good news is you're going second, you're going to most likely know what to call. So you're going to know what to call. It's going to be really easy. You could also call like high-powered hand traps if you were worried about it. And that's kind of neat. If you're worried about them having a specific kind of card, and you want to hit it in the graveyard, you can. So that's another reason why, like, thinking about it more now, I might want to combo this more with like Call by the Grave, so I have like cards to target. But I didn't do that, and I just kind of decided to quit messing around with it. And I tried a few different rock monsters, as you guys saw in the replays. But that's okay. Your guys are free to kind of play around with this. This is just a very simplified template for you to play around, get to know the cards, and then you can go take it your own personal direction. I've played the 3 tactical talents because I felt like it is almost just as good as a Called by the Grave. So basically, the way it's looking like with Konami is they're making cards like Tactical Talents and Call by the Grave. And I think there's another one like a Nobleman spell. And if we have all of that in the game at the same time, it's going to make hand traps a lot less powerful. So I'm thinking that, you know, we might even get to a format where hand traps just aren't good because of cards like that. I don't know. We'll see. It's all going to be that's all prediction of the future. You have your Link monsters because frankly you're going to need them, I think, for any of this deck, even though you have to send this guy off by a card effect. So if you Synchro or Link or Exceed with him, he's not going to go off. I found that out the hard way. Also, like, each of these cards has like some really unique abilities, so, and we'll go into that. This card, like, for example, during the main phase, except the turn this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add Fossil Fusion from the graveyard. So, excuse me, you can add 1 Fossil Fusion monster from the graveyard, then target a Fossil Fusion monster in the graveyard and special summon it. So basically, like, if you have 2 Fossil Fusion guys, let's say you have Skullbone and Skull Knight, you banish Skullbone, you get Skull Knight from the graveyard, and I think you get, and that's really cool. It's basically built in Monster Reborn, or Call on it, so from the graveyard, so that's really neat. especially if you have to use, like, depending on the deck you're up against, it'll depend on which of these guys you can actually use, and that's going to be kind of important. The other thing that you're going to want to know is about each of these guys also has an on-field effect, and I think most of them also have a graveyard effect. So for Skullbone, his big thing is he can make a second attack on monsters in the battle phase. So a lot of these guys are double attackers or piercers, or some of them are a combination of both. If he's in the graveyard, you can add a time stream from your deck to your hand. You can banish him and you go get time stream. So that's kind of a neat little effect there. Then we have Fossil Dragon Skullgar. They all have this ability where they have to be first summoned with Fossil Fusion. So a lot of people were thinking about Super Poly as a target for this, but Super Poly won't work for these because they have to be special summoned with Fossil Fusion. So unfortunately, that is what it is. So Super Poly is a no-go for this deck, which is, you know, damn it, Konami. This guy inflicts piercing battle damage if attacking a defense position monster, and when he goes to the graveyard, you get to add fossil. You can banish him from the graveyard to add a Fossil Fusion from the deck to the hand. That's neat. Also, when one of these guys dies, I think Fossil Fusion will also add itself to your hand. So yeah, that's kind of neat that there's more. You can get more than one. Now we have Skull Knight. Skull Knight has piercing battle damage, and if he destroys a monster in battle, you get to make a second attack. So that's him is like he does piercing, and then if he kills a monster, then he gets to attack again. So that's really neat. He kind of has like that Blackluster Soldier like effect, where if he kills a monster, he gets to attack again. So that's really neat. The other thing is if you can banish him from the graveyard to target a monster on the field and destroy it, and unfortunately that's not a quick effect, but that's okay because that's like a breakthrough skill-esque ability. So on your turn, like if they kill it on their turn, and then on your turn you get to kind of, okay, well I'm gonna kill one of your things, or you get to prop and negate, which is really good before you even make the rest of your move. All right, then we have Fossil Warrior Skull King, and basically this guy. He can make a 2 attacks, period. He gets to swing twice. If he attacks a defense position monster, he gets to do piercing, and his quick effect is you get to ditch a card, and then you get to target a monster in the graveyard and summon it to the field. And I think that's really useful. So the idea is like you're also kind of dodging other people's lightning storms this way. Basically what you're doing when you use this ability is you're going to be able to summon a monster in defense mode, so you're not completely defenseless. So that's kind of a handy little trick. And then we have the last card here, Fossil Dragon Skullgilios. Or Skullgios. I don't know, that may not be how you say his name, but anyway, this card, before damage calculation, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can switch the current attack and defense, so that's really cool. If this card attacks a defense position monster, you get to inflict piercing battle damage, and if this card battles an opponent's monster and it's in attack position, I believe you get to inflict double the battle damage to your opponent. So that's really cool because this card can pretty much wipe out most of their life points. So that seems to be the ongoing theme here, is you want to go second and then you want to take big swings at the opponent. That's kind of like the way that these guys seem to work. And each one of these guys requires a different level for fusing from the graveyard. So I'm going to go ahead and go over that so you guys know it, and then we're done. So basically, these two guys, Skullbone and Skullgar, require level 4 or lowers. All right. Skull Knight requires level 5 and 6 monsters specifically, and then Skull King and Skullgilios require level 7 or higher. So they covered all the levels, but the one thing you guys are going to want to know and remember is Xyz and Link monsters are still a thing in the game, so you cannot use them as fusion materials for these guys because they do not have a level. And that's the only thing that you want to remember, so you don't try to activate something that you're not supposed to, or make a bonehead play, pun intended, like me. Anyway, guys, that is our fossil deck profile. This has been going over the new fossil cards, so you kind of have an idea how they work. If you're liking this kind of videos, make sure you drop me one of these, and make sure you also check out my behind the screen series. The next one coming is with another lovely YouTuber. She's the sweetest thing on this planet, I swear. I think you guys are going to be real excited to meet her. You might even have guessed it. If you've seen my last behind the screen, you might have already guessed who this person is. And I'm really excited to show you guys her, and we're going to meet the lady behind the screen. So, anyway, guys, I will see you in the next one. I am Ben 10,000 of yugioh, your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh superhero, and I'm wishing you guys a good day. Peace.